Hello, I'm Julia. I'm a 22-year-old senior in college, double majoring in Japanese language and culture and theater performance. If you're one of my existing 44 subscribers, hello! You likely came from my singing videos that I made in high school as a Vocaloid fanatic. While I'm still a Vocaloid fanatic, I think that one or two of those videos did not stand the test of time and have since taken them down. But please know that I'd love to try my hand at singing Vocaloid covers again soon. But as for the real reason I'm here, it's really hard to break into the voice acting industry, and that is what I really hope to do with my life. While I'm interested in everything that lies at the intersection of all things Japanese and all things theater, be that in some methods like translation, localization, or teaching, what I really want to do is something that makes Japanese creations accessible to Western audiences, and my favorite way of contributing to that effort is in singing Japanese songs in English and voice acting works that were originally in Japanese in English. I think that would be a mighty fun world to be a part of, so I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get the attention of anyone on the planet who might be willing to work with me. Today's target is Aksys. Aksys Games is a video game publisher that specializes in translating and localizing Japanese video games for English-speaking audiences, and they just so happen to make a few otome games that I absolutely adore. In an effort to convince them that they want me to help advertise their products, as I know they have at least one partner who's meant to publicly discuss their lineup and play the games a little bit online, I will be replaying Piofiorefatedmemories. I will not be playing the full game, as I'd like to encourage you to experience the full story for yourself in full brilliance. And I think that some moments are meant to be private, if you know what I mean. And it's just morally better to support Aksys in their endeavors by purchasing the game. That being said, if you just can't make ends meet enough to purchase it, there are other videos on YouTube that are devoid of commentary and go over all the chapters and endings. But I really think that you're missing something if you don't proceed through the meatier chapters of the game by yourself at your own pace in a dark and moody room with a candle for ambiance. So I strongly suggest that you purchase it if you can, and if you find yourself remotely interested during my playthrough of the prologue. Now, why Piofiorefatedmemories? Because they just released a sequel like a year ago. And it's the one otome game out of the several I've played that I just don't fully understand. There's a lot to unpack with Piofiore, and while the prologue only scratches the surface, it lays a superb foundation for the complex, multi-layered, whimsical yet rooted world building that is home to the Italian mafia we try to romance. And, you know, just survive. We just want to survive, honestly. Given that I've played this game before, twice, I'd like to make a tier list based on my current understanding of some of the characters, and I'll update it again at the end of the prologue with any changes. It'd be advisable to stop watching now if you'd like to abstain from major spoilers. So I'm really only doing the following portion for those who, like me, have dabbled in Piofiore. I repeat, do not watch the rest of this video if you do not want to know how everything wraps up, as I am really getting into it with spoilers. So, thank you for listening to the intro. I tried filming this with a camera, you know, looking at me, maybe about 5 times, and I just wasn't feeling it, so we're doing this instead. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Hello. So I guess first things first, we ought to name our tiers. I had ideas for these yesterday when I was trying to design a thumbnail for this video because I love, you know, worrying about things that I don't have to worry about yet. Here's the slideshow from earlier, and here's me trying to make the thumbnail. Okay, it would appear that I had sitting silently on the couch together as the top tier, which does make sense, and I will explain why in a second, because I can't think and type at the same time, apparently. Silently sitting on the couch together. Side note, have y'all seen the Jouch memes? Jouch. Yeah, anyway, I have really bad social anxiety, so, whenever I have my friends over, if we're not like super good friends, I'm like trying to fill the silence at every possible interval, and I think that it really says a lot whenever you and somebody else can occupy this same space and just silently share that space together with no expectations regarding conversation, with no agenda regarding, you know, like, what's the plan? I think that's really important. Isn't this one Leave at 10? And then the third one is The Thinnest Ice Imaginable. And then this one is The Smell of Seafood Derogatory. Okay, listen. Dude, I spelled this wrong yesterday. Yeah, see, can't spell it. Are there any other language majors that feel like their skills in their native language are depreciating with each second that passes? I think this one says death penalty, but it's covered by the Aksys Games logo, as it should be. So, oh, I never got back to this. Maybe I was avoiding it because I didn't want anyone to be mad at me. But you know what? A little bit of controversy is good. A little bit of drama, something to talk about over the dinner table, like, oh my gosh, did you hear? So you know what? I'll fill that role. Me and my 44 subscribers, they're gonna have something to talk about now. This is not a joke, actually. I do hate the smell of seafood. I don't know what else there is to say about it. I remember going to a Red Lobster when I was in like elementary school because all of my family lived in Florida and I lived in the north, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're in Florida, let's go to a seafood restaurant kind of deal. And I think I threw up in the bathroom. I'm pretty sure I did. And then whenever we would go to grocery restaurants, Mom would go through the seafood section and I would be like audibly gagging, and I think it got to a point where she was like, you know what, you can wait over there. You can wait in the chips aisle where you belong. Death penalty, pretty self-explanatory. And oh, leave it 10, I forgot to explain that. I'm so good at this, you guys. Leave it 10. Leave it 10. So you know how you'll have your friends over and it's like, there's like a second group. There's an elite group. It's like the kids who were allowed to stay for a sleepover when you were growing up. There's a group that's invite only, and this tier right here is for those who would not have been on the invite only list, those who would have been asked to leave earlier. I don't really do this with my friends because I'm like, I don't know how to do like a half-assed friendship. All of my friendships are like, you know, spend the night if you want to, and it's a beautiful thing. Anyway, we're making a tier list, and I'm focused, okay? This is the most focused I've ever been in my entire life. Certainly not when I was failing my AP US History and my AP... Was it Lang or Lit? I failed one of them. Anyway, Dante Falzone. Dante Falzone, where am I going to put you? Let me think. So, I remember thinking that he was kind of... I'm trying to not use profanity in my first video. I don't want to. But, how do I explain any of this without profanity, though? Develop a broader lexicon? No, nerd. I will not. Dante Falzone. Okay, Dante's cool, but he's not extremely cool. I kind of found his energy to be a little draining because it's very clear that he's pretentious, and in one of the routes, I think it's his route actually, doesn't he like lock us in his house and then we have to jump down from the window? Yeah, I don't know, like he's really controlling, and it's like, we, the player, cannot help it if we are the key to your family having control of the biggest section of Berlone, and you're trying to kidnap me and you're trying to force me into this role. I think he acknowledges that it's not fair in the route, but you know, he's also a sweetie. Like, didn't he get Lily a cat? Like, didn't he get the player a cat or something? Something happened with a cat that really redeemed him for me. So he can come to the party, but like, he's leaving at 10. He's not spending the night. I don't care. The Direttore. I haven't played through all of his routes, full disclosure. I played through this game twice, but there's some stuff I just did not get around to. I feel like he's the smell of seafood derogatory. Or no, okay, he's on the thinnest ice imaginable. He's on the thinnest ice imaginable because he's very theatrical and I'm very theatrical, so we have this understanding, and he kind of does what he has to do in order to survive. But at the same time, he's just kind of, he's a liar and he's deceptive, and it would just be mighty hard to trust him. And he's very, like, trigger happy with the decisions that he makes, which I also am, but it's okay when I do it. It's not okay when anyone else does it. He is on the thinnest ice imaginable. Elena, I love her. She and I could sit on the couch together and talk about absolutely nothing. I'm skipping him. I'm not in the mood to be pissed off already. Lon and Faye, he's my son. I love him. Again, he does what he has to do to survive, but I don't think he's a liar. He's very forthright in the fact that he like grew up on the wrong side of town, and he's been hardened, and he's got dreams and goals and ambitions, and he loves his sister more than his next breath. So for that reason, he and I could sit on the couch together and not say a thing. I kind of want to do all the side characters, and then I want to do the main characters. Julia, the other Julia, well, she's taking my name and she's misspelling it, and I don't really appreciate that. I think that's kind of rude. I like her, but I feel like she wouldn't keep a secret. I don't know, and that's not fair to her, because I have really no reason to think that, but I'm going off of the vibes. So for that reason, She's on thin ice, but she's not on as thin ice as Direttore over here. Faye can go with her brother. They are my children. This guy right here, I don't remember his name, but I remember that I hate him because he was mean to our girl Elena. He took advantage of her. He was foul. You know what else is foul? The smell of seafood. But I don't know. Could he be in the smell of seafood or in death penalty? I don't know. Like, maybe he could be redeemed. Maybe he grew up like Lon and Faye, but he didn't, you know, he lost the childish cuteness. Like, Lon and Faye, they're kids, and they're, like, silly and mischievous, and they want ice cream on the beach and stuff. Maybe this guy used to be like that, and then life just, you know, threw him around like a rag doll one too many times, and now he's the... how do I say this without using profanity? The unfortunate son of a gun we all know him to be now. Leo's cute. I feel like he's like a little brother sort of a character. I've heard about how like, oh, he should be a love interest. I don't see him that way. I see him as like a kid. But I see him as like he and the heroine, come on, they look alike. They're both blonde. What else do you need? I think Leo's a sweetie pie, and I feel like he and Lon and Faye, they could like be playing Mario Kart, and then Elena would be helping me in the kitchen, like preheating the oven for the pizza rolls that the three kiddos are like, we want pizza rolls, and I'm like, okay. Let's go to Luca. Luca, he is at the top. Okay, there we go. He is at the top of the top tier for me. I think I cried when he died. He's a very well-written character. You're made to care tremendously about him, and then he is sort of silently ripped away before your eyes. He just fades, and, you know, I was with Orlok. We were both just sobbing and screaming at the sky. It was very cathartic. I forgot his name, but he's everything to me. But, like, he would probably have to leave at 10, to be honest, because I feel like he would go on some sort of political ramble if he got, like, a little too inebriated. And I don't think that everybody holds his opinions. Probably not everybody in this imaginary friend group that I'm referencing. But at the same time, he's like the grandpa of the group, and he cares deeply. It's just that I don't think I'd be able to sit on the couch quietly with him. And at the end of the day, that's what matters in this particular tier list. What's his name? I know him. What is his name? Oliver? Is it Oliver? Hang on. Everybody hang on. Everybody. Ouch. Yep, I was right. Oliver. Where does he live? I actually feel like he's amazing. I actually feel like he's probably the life of the party, and that he would protect you with his dying breath. Oliver cares about people, and that is why he went to law school, and he is at the function. This man, on the other hand, he's right there with this guy, okay? But he's not as good as this guy, because this guy knows he's horrible. This guy knows he's, like, the scum of the earth, but Robert DeFeo, he does not know he's the scum of the earth, and someone should tell him. Sister Sophia, she has to leave at 10, but she's the best out of this bunch. I like her more than I like Dante. I feel like she would get offended by a lot, so she's leaving at 10, but she's, you know, maybe 10:05. Maybe she can leave at 10:05. And here we are, the main people. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I ranked Dante, and then I was like, I'm gonna rank all the main people last. That is so... I just forgot about him. I really did. I love Gilbert. Just look at him. He would protect you. If somebody insulted you in the street, like, you know, I've had a frat boy bark at me before. If a frat boy barked at me and Gil were there, Gil would tear him a new... Gil would just rectify the situation. That's what he would do. And he would sit with me silently on the couch, and he's going here. I like Orlok. I think Orlok is a badass. Can I say that? I'm saying it. I don't know why I tend to gravitate to characters that you have to teach how to love. It's just something about characters like that where you go on this journey from being sort of this... Well, he was never emotionless, but he just didn't really understand a whole lot of things. And we went on this journey of, like, finding out what love can really be together. And he would also kill someone if they barked at me, and I like that. So, he and I were sitting on the couch, and I'm sorry, okay, maybe I'm putting him here. I'm sorry, Elena, do you mind? She just will not move. Yang. Okay, Yang knows he's horrible. And I feel like that kind of, it doesn't redeem him, but it makes him more likable. And he's also a liar, but like the way he speaks does something to me. So he does get more of a pass. I think it's the pretty privilege, pretty voice privilege. He's coming to the function, but he's on thin ice. He's like in between these two tiers for me. I'm putting him above Julia because he does not have my name. Okay, let's rank the heroine, Lily. She's us. We are her, so she has to be at the function as long as we are, meaning... And you know, she's us, so we don't ever get to separate from ourselves. So, to that end, we can sit on the couch silently with ourselves, with our thoughts about how we got involved with the mafia and whatnot. I hate these men. It's like brushing your teeth. When I was little, I used to like smile at my mom and be like, oh my gosh, I love you, Mom, and like smile real big and just try to get a lot of hugs and stuff because I hated having my teeth brushed and brushing my teeth myself. These men are brushing your teeth, but it's different because you need to brush your teeth. It's important for hygienic reasons, but I actually feel like your hygiene would be better if you were to not associate with these men. So, Nicola, just everything about him pisses me off. His face does not look good just straight on, and he'll do things that make no sense in the name of, like, you know, something altruistic, and I just don't think it works. You can't be like, I'm gonna commit tax evasion because I love my mom and I'm gonna use this money that I'm not spending on taxes to get her flowers. Like, that's the kind of thing Nicola would do. In my opinion, he just does things that are stupid, and he'll be like, I'm doing it for Dante. And it's like, at some point, can you take responsibility for your poor decision making? And also, at the beginning of the game when we drop our lemons and he's like, oh, you bought a lot of lemons, huh? Like, come up with something better. That's dumb. You're dumb. Screw you. Death penalty. And Emilio, I think there needs to be a jump scare warning every time Emilio comes on screen. This man terrifies me. He's like hundreds of years old, but he looks like that. He has like this terrifying, like uncanny valley AI generated sort of appearance. And I just hate it, and I hate him. And he also said the body of Christ is in Italy. And that's just everything about that was so insane to me. Everything about him is terrible. And if I talk about him longer, I'm going to get upset. This is my Piofiore tier list. I did not make this tier list, so that implies that there's someone else out there who, would understand. Oh, you! Hello, Danish. Thank you for watching. I don't want to say like and subscribe and comment, so I'm not going to. Have a good evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. Pet your dog if you have one. See ya!